Cable news, most especially CNN, is collapsing as a new network society indeed is rising. In this video, we're going to take a look at the ratings apocalypse that's hit all major cable news networks, why CNN has been hit worst of all, and how the rise of what scholars call a network society is changing the way we consume news forever. You are not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve here with you. Wonderful to be with you. As always, we're here to give you each and every single day conservative hope in amidst these turbulent and trying times, helping you to think better so you can feel better and provide you a patriot path to freedom. So make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Before we begin, let's give you a shout out to the sponsor of this video, and that is the Backup Solar Bank. Now, in the midst of this whole emergency situation that we've been finding ourselves in, one of the best things that we can invest in for our protection when the lights go out is what's called a solar power bank. It's a backup power bank that's powered, you guessed it, by the sun. It allows you to charge up to 2 devices at once, and you'll never have to waste money on batteries again. Now, supply is limited, and this is the very last chance to get yours at a 20% discount before they sell out. So do not wait. Click on that link below right now and give you and your family the gift of power anywhere in the world. Click on the link below or visit backupsolarbank.com. That's backupsolarbank.com. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. Look at this headline from Hot Air. The post-Trump cable news apocalypse has arrived. CNN hardest hit. It's a reference to a Variety.com report that found that all 3 of the so-called big 3 cable networks have seen their viewership just implode over the last 3 months. Fox News appears to have managed to hold the decline down to single digits of late. Fox, of course, absolutely collapsed as a result of their ridiculous election night coverage. They began the new year with some of their worst ratings ever. For the first time in 2 decades, Fox News viewership had fallen behind both CNN and MSNBC over the first 2 weeks of 2021. Fox averaged nearly 800,000 fewer total daytime viewers than MSNBC and around 1 million fewer than CNN. Things were so bad at Fox that according to adweek.com, they finished last in every single time slot during the week ending on January 9th. Even Tucker Carlson, Fox's most popular host, even Tucker, finished behind MSNBC's Chris Hayes. Ouch. Now, this is a fall that none of us would ever have believed possible just a few months ago. Fox reigned uncontested in virtually every time slot for 20 years. They're the kings of cable news, and they have just completely collapsed. They are a textbook example of the fundamental universal law of the cosmos: get woke, go broke. It's an implosion that's beyond belief at this point. But having said that, they do appear to have relatively stabilized, reducing their audience loss now to only single digits. But look at this chart published by Variety. Look at the loss in viewership for virtually all the cable news heavy hitters. The audience for CNN's Don Lemon is down 32.5%. Anderson Cooper is down 32%. Fredo is down 29%. MSNBC Chris Hayes is down 17%. Lawrence O'Donnell down 18%. I mean, look at this. Viewership is hemorrhaging everywhere. Rachel Maddow is down 9%. She's already suffered big time since the whole Russian collusion hoax that she was pushing blew up in her face. She lost a third of her audience overnight when that charade was exposed. And as you can see, Fox comparably has slowed down its audience loss to single digits. Laura Ingram's down 9%. Sean Hannity's down, 12. There's a little double. Tucker's down 5%. It's all in relation to the viewership in December, by the way, indicating a clear falling average for every single cable news provider among the so-called big 3. Interestingly enough, this ratings collapse has hit Newsmax as well. You might recall it wasn't long after viewers started turning off Fox in disgust in response to their blatantly biased election coverage that it was announced that the ratings for Newsmax's Greg Kelly beat Fox News host Martha McCullum. Kelly beat McCullum in the coveted key demographic 25 to 54-year-olds, which is the demographic so valuable to advertisers. So Kelly averaged 229,000 of those viewers, while McCullum averaged 203,000. It was a difference upwards of 30,000 viewers from this coveted demographic, and it was an absolutely extraordinary achievement. Prior to the election, I mean, Newsmax wasn't even in the same league as Fox News. Unfortunately for Newsmax, those days appear over. When measured against their viewership high in mid-November, Newsmax has actually lost about half their audience. But there's now the question, with all the different cable news channels hemorrhaging viewers, the channel hit hardest is none other than our beloved CNN. And obviously this goes way beyond simply not having President Trump to kick around anymore. The integrity of the channel itself has been so compromised that it appears that even liberals are abandoning it. Now, you may have heard about the Washington Post media critic Eric Wemple, his appearance on CNN on Sunday. Now, he was on the so-called Reliable Sources show with the insufferable Brian Stelter, who seems utterly incapable of being embarrassed given the amount of times he affords himself such an opportunity. But this Washington Post journalist, Eric Wemple, was on a show the other day to discuss the media coverage of New York Governor Andrew Cuomo and the mounting scandals surrounding him. And here's what Wemple said, quote, "I would be remiss, Brian, if I didn't mention CNN's own huge media story here with Chris Cuomo, the anchor at the 9 o'clock hour, who covered Andrew Cuomo and had all these wonderful love-a-thon interviews with him, more than 10 of them, and know what he says here. CNN suspended the conflict of interest rule for Chris Cuomo for those interviews, yet all of a sudden they've enforced it again now that Andrew Cuomo is in the midst of a historic scandal in the Albany State House." So I think that is a major black eye for CNN. It is a major black eye for this network. So I think we could see here that CNN's hemorrhaging of viewers is in many respects a self-inflicted wound. But I've got to say that I think something much deeper is going on here with ratings collapse all across the border, as it were, for cable news channels. Something far more fundamental is happening than simply disappointed audiences. Now, before we get into that, I do want to give you a free gift. Make sure to click on that link below and download your own fake news antidote. How timely is that? We've updated our compilation of over 30 alternative news sites that I go to for my news each and every single day. They're all conservative. They're all celebrating Trump and the nationalist populist revolt going on all over the world. And boy, do we need these news resources now more than ever. You can download your own copy of our updated fake news antidote completely free at the link down below in the pinned comment section. And you'll have a ready list of your go-to sites that you'll definitely enjoy and are going to inspire you through these trying and tumultuous times. And it's yours absolutely free by clicking on the link below. It is my gift to you. So what's really going on here? Why do we appear to be seeing cable news basically collapse right before our very eyes? Well, in a nutshell, it's precisely because it is. The days of cable news are rapidly coming to an end. And that's because cable news is the product of a society that's quickly fading away. Cable news comes out of a social order known as mass society, and this is the kind of society that arose in the 19th and 20th centuries. And it's organized around densely concentrated, urbanized populations. And it's within this mass society that you get big media, right? NBC and Rockefeller Plaza, the CNN building in Atlanta. Every single network has their New York bureau for Wall Street and their DC bureau for Capitol Hill. The problem here, well, the problem for big media, is that scholars recognize that we're moving away from what's called mass society and moving instead toward what they call a network society. Now, if mass society related us to one another by virtue of our proximity to these massive urban centers like New York and LA, the network society relates to us to one another by the internet. So we no longer relate to one another by virtue of our spatial proximity to one another. The internet's enabled us to transcend our proximities and come into contact with one another by virtue of networks, chief among which is the internet. And this is radically affecting the way we do news. So, for example, you'll notice that virtually 100% of the initial video documentation of any significant event is not coming from news cameras. The video footage is not coming from news cameras or from satellite trucks. Where is the on-the-ground, in real-life video coming from at the very beginning of a significant event? It's coming from you, from cell phones. It's coming from eyewitnesses who are present in that event, recording it on their iPhones or their smartphones. Welcome to the network society. It's a new social order that's decentralized and disestablished that the old big media simply can't compete with anymore. That's why the future of news is independent content creators who are able to give you their own perspective on what we all see via the network society. Remember, mass society, the media controls what you see. But in a network society, we can bypass the big media in a manner comparable to the way email or texting or instant messaging bypasses the old post office. And as these ratings show, the network society is no longer a little brush fire here or there that big media can try to stamp out. It's now blazing all over the world. And there's nothing that big media can do about it. Now, before you go, make sure to like this video, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel. And you'll definitely want to check out my latest video. I just uploaded it on how Antifa riots erupt in Portland as Minneapolis citizens held hostage by a new anti-cop autonomous zone. You're not going to want to miss it, so make sure to click on the link, and I will see you over there. God bless.